We're going to explore death and dying, hell and heaven, what happens when you die. And I have to tell you candidly, of all the messages that we've prepared over the last several decades, this is really the toughest for many reasons. It's a difficult topic. It's one that you can never completely get your arms around. It's one that is just plagued with myths and superstitions and met with trite cliches, what some people call Bible babble and so on. But we're going to try to get into this because it's unquestionably the most important topic we've ever addressed. And we're going to divide it in two parts. Our present reality first, and the mystery of our destiny, what really happens when we die. One of the things that we're going to try to do is start with our conceptions, or I might even say misconceptions, about where we are today, our present physical reality. Because people ask me, is hell real? Part of that is determined by what you mean by real. And so there are key questions we'll try to address. What happens when you die? When you pass through that portal, what's the first thing you run into? Is there really an afterlife? Many people would deny that. And if so, what's heaven like? And perhaps even more disturbing, is there really a hell? We use that phrase so casually. We know all the superstitions and myths and literary conceptions, but is there really a reality that we call hell? To do this, though, to attack this problem, we have to really understand some other concepts that we also band about pretty casually. The nature of eternity. We use that term. What does it really mean? And this reality that we find ourselves in, this physical world that we think we understand and yet discover we really don't. Although the lifestyles and values and self-perceptions of most adults have undergone significant changes, and millions have embraced the postmodern worldview, it's interesting that the majority of adults continues to believe that there is life after death, that everyone has a soul, and that heaven and hell probably do exist. This may come as a surprise. That yet, despite these traditional views that are surprisingly widely held, over 50 million Americans are uncertain about their personal fate. In terms of a belief in afterlife, 8 out of 10, according to recent research, as recently as September of 2003, 8 out of 10 believe in an afterlife of some sort. And a large majority agree that every person has a soul that will live forever, either in God's presence or absence. And an afterlife of some sort. About 9% suggest that an afterlife may exist, but they're not certain. And 1 out of every 10 adults contend that there's no form of life after one dies on earth. So that's the breakdown. Rather surprising in some respects. 76% of the people canvassed believe that heaven exists. 46% would describe it as a state of eternal existence in God's presence. About 30% think of it as an actual place of rest and reward where souls go after death. There's about 14% that think it's just symbolic, about 5% that doesn't think there really is any such thing, and there's about 5% that feel they're just not sure. But again, it's a surprising percentage. Now you get to the other side of it, about the same proportion of people, 71% versus the 76% in heaven, believe that there's a hell. But there's no real dominant view. About 4 out of 10 adults believe that hell is just a state of eternal separation from God's presence. And about 32%, say 1 in 3, feel it's an actual place of torment and suffering where people's souls go after death. About 13% just regard it as a symbol of some kind of bad outcome. And about 16% are not sure, really don't have a belief or don't believe in it at all. Interesting breakdown.